We need to talk about crypto. We need to talk about Bitcoin. We need to make a lot of money.
Let's start with the facts, right? There's probably more millionaires made from crypto in the last 10 years than any other asset class.
What do you think is fueling Bitcoin's price?
Markets don't like uncertainty. Markets love certainty.
You seem very calm and composed in this podcast. Are you a chill guy?
I'm actually in chill guy at the minute.
What's your opinion on meme coins and all that sort of stuff?
This guy put in 31k. He's sold 2 million and he's still got unrealized. He's still got 500k in there.
Have you ever seen stuff like that before in a meme?
All it takes is one, right?
Literally making life-changing money.
Bro, I know somebody who turned $169 into $500,000 in whiff.
You're so well educated in the space. I need to use this time wisely and just ask you everything, right? One day you can open your account and you're $2,000. You can open it again and it's at $5 million. And then you can lose that $5 million. Your value of money and your perception of money constantly changes.
Yeah, you kind of need to see it as monopoly money or GTA money to a certain extent. If you come into crypto and you say, okay, when I make £1 million, I'm going to get out. When you hit that £1 million, you need to get out. And don't look at crypto for 6 to 12 months.
Where would you advise me to start?
The first thing that you need to understand is...
What is going on, people? Welcome back to the Ceocast, the #1 podcast for showcasing business and entrepreneurship. Now, this is a bit of an emergency episode. I've had my Sunna supplements. I'm energized. I'm ready to go. I'm fueled up. Thank you to Sunna supplements, by the way. But we need to talk about crypto. We need to talk about Bitcoin. We need to make a lot of money. So I'm here right now with someone who's involved in the space, and we're going to discuss everything. So how would you introduce yourself, Gio?
Yeah, so like I was saying off camera, I'm a multi-asset trader, entrepreneur. I don't like putting myself in the crypto bracket because I feel like it can be seen a certain way.
Yep.
But I trade equities, FX, crypto, a bit of everything.
But nonetheless, you are also heavily involved and knowledgeable about crypto in the first place.
Yeah, I've been in crypto since 2017. So
okay, since 2017. So why in 2017? What got you into it in the first place?
It's quite a funny story. So I actually first found out about Bitcoin in 2013.
Yeah,
I was playing FIFA with one of my friends. My mum actually told me about it. I typed in Bitcoin on Google, saw that it went up, saw it went down. I was like, oh, I don't need to look at that. And I hadn't started trading at this point. Then in 2017, my mum again was like, no, like you really need to look at this. And by that point, I've been trading FX for 3 years. So I got into it, realized like, okay, there's actually something here. And then, yeah, the rest is history from there.
So what was it that made you think, right, there's something here?
I went on YouTube, typed in Bitcoin. I saw people like, I think it was Bill Gates saying like, there's something here. This could be, you know, the future of money. Saw people like McAfee. So, you know, the McAfee...
What, software?
Yeah, the software.
Yeah.
He was talking about Bitcoin heavily. People like Max Kaiser,
okay,
who's like, you know, a pretty well-respected economist, was talking about Bitcoin. So from there, I started to go down the rabbit hole and realize that actually there's something here, you know. It's a harder money, you know, they can't create more. There's only ever going to be 21 million. Whereas with fiat money, they just print more and more and more. Then I went down a rabbit hole studying the history of money, right? And how every civilization has basically inflated their currency to the point where, you know, it's not worth anything. So I kind of saw things going in that direction, went down that rabbit hole. And when I first got into crypto, I was like, oh my God, this is going to change the world, right? This is like the next big thing. Now I kind of understand that Bitcoin is in that bracket, but everything else is kind of just a big game of musical chairs, which we'll probably get into later, but yeah.
Interesting. So when you come across Bitcoin, did you actually invest into it then?
Yeah, so I started investing in Bitcoin, and back then it was pretty hard. Like you could invest in Coinbase or buy through Coinbase. Yeah. There was a website called Bittylicious as well, which some people might remember. So I bought through there. Then I started looking at altcoins, things like Ethereum, Litecoin when it was like $11. Yeah. Started buying that. And then went down the rabbit hole, you know, found more altcoins. And this is where I really thought they were going to change the world. Like there were altcoins like Civic that I was like, oh my God, this is like identity on the blockchain, you know? And then, you know, made some money, lost it in 2018 when everything came crashing down. And that's when I more started to realize that these things aren't going to change the world. Like putting bananas on the blockchain, there's no real value in that, you know? It's just hype, it's just bubbles. But yeah, Bitcoin, I think, again, maybe we'll go into in a bit more depth later, but Bitcoin, I think, is here to stay. You know, I'm bullish on Bitcoin. I think everyone watching this should denominate their net worth in Bitcoin over the next 10 to 20 years because, you know, eventually it will go to $1 million. I'm not saying now, but in 10, 20 years, that's probably where it's headed. But for now, you can trade the cycles and make a lot of money. But yeah, I started with Bitcoin. Yeah,
so the reason why I wanted to do this podcast, right, is because I previously done a podcast with Luke Belmar. Now, admittedly, we did do that podcast way in advance of actual release. And a lot of people complain saying, no, you can't talk about Bullrun and all that sort of stuff when it's not even present time. So just to make it clear to the audience, this episode is being recorded right now the same week that you're watching it. So the day right now is Tuesday. It's going to be released on Sunday, obviously the day you're watching it. At this current time, to give you a little example, the current price of Bitcoin is 93,109 USD. So that's the price it is right now. What was the price you got Bitcoin at Do you remember?
When I first bought it, was like $2,000.
Okay.
Yeah.
So $2,000, did that seem like a lot of money? Like in everything you had researched that far, did it seem like, okay, this is worth $2,000? Don't know if I should put 2K into it. What was your thought process behind that?
I thought it was cheap. And at this point, I was working as an estate agent. I'd been trading for 3 years, but I hadn't made any money from trading. I was just losing.
Yep.
It wasn't until I got into crypto that, I'll go into in a bit more depth later, but back then in crypto, there would be the top traders on Twitter and they would just teach you stuff for free.
Yeah.
And that's where I learned so much. It accelerated my journey. It wasn't like now where things are like heavily gatekept. But I was a moon boy. Like I thought Bitcoin's going to $1 million. Like I was just eating cheap lunches so I could have more money to buy Bitcoin.
Yeah.
So yeah, for me, $2,000 was cheap. And at the time it was like, early, call it like April, May 2017, something like that. Obviously later that year it went to 20,000. So I was just trying to accumulate as much as I could.
So you mentioned other people earlier who were looking into Bitcoin, whether it be McPhee, whether it be Bill Gates, etc. Was there anyone you actually looked up to for inspiration, almost in the form of mentorship, when it come to guidance with your journey in crypto?
Yeah. There's a guy who doesn't post on social media anymore called Carter Thomas.
Yeah.
And he used to have a YouTube channel called, I think it was Coin Mastery or something like that, but it's not active anymore. But he was incredible. And not just from crypto, like my whole journey in financial markets, I learned so much from him. And even my basis to this day, we're talking about off camera, asset to asset relative strength, the kind of way that I look at markets, the way I generate trade ideas. A lot of it is based off his teachings. And I've never had a personal conversation with him one-on-one, but I just like consumed so much of his content that I learned so much, from it. And he was very open. He was like, look, I'm fairly new to this, but he had a background in VC. So he was like a pretty successful VC in Silicon Valley, very switched on guy, very intelligent. And the small bits of content that he still makes to this day, he's had an incredible trading journey. And he was probably the person I'd say back then that was most influential. Then there were some other people that I kind of, managed to speak to, like I said, I got mentored by, because back then it was so much easier. You'd DM someone on Twitter, they'd be like, yeah, bro, no problem. Like, this is how I do this,
Yeah.
Whereas now it's not like that. Like all those guys have made their money. They're not on Twitter anymore. They're worth hundreds of millions probably by now. But yeah, it was a lot easier back then, I'd say.
Interesting. There's one guy that I follow and he's made a lot of money in crypto. I feel like you already know the name I'm about to drop.
Yeah.
Who?
100x?
Yeah. Have you seen his journey from the beginning?
Yeah, so funny enough, I was in a group chat with 100x when he was like 16 years old. We were in...
he was telling me about this, yeah.
Yeah. So we were in a group chat together. I don't know, some things maybe I can't say on camera, but for whatever reason, he wasn't in the group anymore. But I've spoken to him personally as well. He's a great trader. Like the way he thinks about markets, the way he sees markets. I've got nothing bad to say about him. Obviously, what he's done is inspirational. The amount of money that he's looking after as well and managing. I can't even fathom managing that amount. So
just to put people in perspective for people who don't know, 650 mil is the number we're talking about.
Yeah, I mean it's close to $1 billion, right? So I think of my P&L swings and I compare them to his, and it's like, okay, it's a different ball game.
One thing I learned of him off the back of that was he put up in a story that he doesn't ever trade with emotions. Once you start trading with emotions, that's when you start making mistakes.
Yep.
Can you talk about that within your experience?
Yeah, sure. I mean, this is probably the biggest topic within trading, right? A lot of people know on paper what they should be doing, but they don't do it because their emotions take over. And if you can eliminate emotions, that's where like the success really lies. And I think you kind of fall into two brackets as a trader. You've either got understanding your emotions and being able to neglect your emotions completely and just being completely emotionless. Or there's the other side, is being able to counter trade your own emotions. So understanding because you're feeling a type of way, it probably means you should be doing X rather than Y. So there's two kinds of brackets. I think a trader needs to understand, can they be completely emotionless and almost be like a robot where they can just like trade mechanically almost? Or do they still feel emotion, but they're able to understand what that signals and be able to trade off the back of it?
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Kind of.
Yeah.
Kind of. It's like, so you understand what the emotion is, but you not choose to ignore it. You understand it, but it's by you understanding it allows you to move forward in the correct direction.
Exactly. I'll give you an example, right? During COVID, when everything crashed, I was buying Ethereum.
Yeah.
Now, it felt horrible.
What was the price, if you don't mind me asking?
$100, $150, something like that. Yeah. But I had in my plan, I had in my notes that if Ethereum drops to X price, I think it actually dropped to like $80, but I waited until 100, right? But at the time, buying Ethereum felt horrible because the world was ending. We were locked down. Everybody said everything's going to zero, but it was within my plan. So I was able to feel those emotions, but understand that the best trades are taken when it doesn't feel like the right thing to do, right? Buying Bitcoin now feels like the right thing to do because everyone agrees with it, right? But it's probably not the best trade. The risk to reward's not as good as buying Bitcoin at 3K.
Yeah, of course.
But when it's 3K, everyone tells you you're stupid for doing that.
Yeah. And as it's going down as well, people are going to say, forget it. It's going to zero. Don't buy it, etc.
Exactly. Yeah. Now, it's not a great example, and maybe we'll go into this in a bit more depth later, but the Big Short, right? So trading against consensus, often you can make a lot of money. Now, there's times, and we'll speak about timing maybe later as well, there's times where the consensus trade can be right. And then there's times where probably by February, everybody will think that crypto is the right thing. That's probably the time you want to be getting out. But the best trades are being able to feel that emotion and follow your plan anyway. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I kind of get what you're saying. On that topic there of, a lot of people say, oh no, it's going to zero. People, obviously, I think right now, the amount of people I have in my phone book who literally have FOMO of Bitcoin right now.
Yeah.
Because they're asking, oh, should I get in? Should I not do it? Should I not do it? And then when it goes down to zero, it's like, nah, I told you it's a scam. So on that topic right there, what do you think are the biggest misconceptions people have about cryptocurrency and the blockchain?
That's a good question. Biggest misconception. I mean, look, let's start with the facts, right? There's probably more millionaires made from crypto in the last 10 years than any other asset class, right? So I look at that and I'm like, okay, if that's the case, why would I want to be bearish on this? Like I want to follow that trend and long-term be a bull. And where you can really exploit that is by when everybody's getting in, you get out. And when everybody's not looking at it, like end of 2022, then you get in, right? That's how you can kind of exploit those cycles. Biggest misconceptions, I don't know, because so many people think about crypto differently. So like I was saying off camera, Bitcoin is here to stay, or even like I said earlier, Bitcoin is here to stay, but everything else is kind of a game of musical chairs. There's a lot of scams, there's a lot of vaporware, so projects that are hyped today that won't be here, tomorrow or in a year's time. I think the biggest misconception is people underestimate the lifespan of Bitcoin and that Bitcoin is going to be here for the next 10, 20, 30, 40 years. Everything else, bar maybe Ethereum and Solana, maybe Sui or another layer one now, everything else is probably going to zero. But I think people underestimate the power of Bitcoin. And when you look at companies like MicroStrategy, who adopted Bitcoin as their treasury asset, right? So they basically took all their US dollars, put it into Bitcoin. Now what they're doing is issuing more shares so that they can basically borrow money against it to buy more Bitcoin. And MicroStrategy is up more than Bitcoin in the last 12 months. And I think that kind of shows where we're going. And it's a bit of game theory as well that, because they're doing it, because Bitcoin's going up, other companies will jump in. We're even seeing countries now, like El Salvador, use the country's money to buy Bitcoin. There's talk of America doing it now, right? And that's
especially now that Trump's in power.
Exactly, right? So now we've got, a pretty crypto-friendly office. That's going to be a theme. And if America do it, that opens the floodgates to the
whole
UK.
World.
The whole world.
Why do you think, obviously, right now, as I said in the beginning, Bitcoin price right now is $93,000. What do you think that's fueled by? Do you think, because I know obviously back in, when is it, March, April, the halving period? And we didn't see any movement, from that point there. Not much anyway. But now all of a sudden, as soon as Trump came into power, Bitcoin just skyrocketed, beat its all-time high. I think at the highest point it was at was $99,000. It hadn't gone past that 100 mark. What do you think is fueling Bitcoin's price? Being a CEO isn't just about making tough decisions, it's about being at your very best every single day. That's why a lot of CEOs trust Sunna Supplements, the world's first halal supplement brand. From halal collagen to electrolytes, Sunna Supplements formulates products to help you perform at your highest level. Whether you're leading a company, a family, or simply yourself, Sunna Supplements should be your partner to help you achieve more. The products are literally crafted to fit your lifestyle, your values, and your ambition. Every single ingredient is backed by science and every single product is halal certified. And every formula designed to help you become the best version of yourself. And here's why I love Sunna Supplements, because every single sale they make, they donate a portion of it to charity, which is something I deeply align with. So I'm not just buying products that fuel my body, but I'm also buying products that align with my values. With over 50,000 customers and having just launched in the USA, be sure to join the movement today and use the discount code CEOHUB for 10% off. Or I'll make this even simpler for you guys. Scan the QR code on the screen right now, which will take you directly to the website. And once again, when you're checking out, use code CEOHUB to get 10% off of your order. What an absolutely bloody bargain. So I want to thank Sunna Supplements for A, sponsoring this video, but B, helping me become a better person overall.
Markets don't like uncertainty, right? Markets love certainty. So when we were going through the elections, when you look at things like Polymarket, Trump was the favorite and Bitcoin was kind of trending up when he was the favorite. And then as soon as Kamala was the favorite on the polls or in prediction markets, Bitcoin tanked, right? So markets were kind of waiting for that certainty that Trump was going to win, because they knew if Trump got in, then he was going to, probably get rid of Gary Gensler, the head of the SEC, who's very anti-crypto and has caused a lot of problems for the crypto industry. And just generally, like, it would be a pretty crypto-friendly office, right? So up until the point where it was confirmed that Trump was president, markets didn't have that certainty. You know, even going into the election, you saw a lot of de-risking, right? People trimming their positions. We kind of dumped into the election. As soon as Trump started winning, you could literally see it live on the charts, right? As soon as he won a state, Bitcoin would jump, right?
Yeah.
So it just comes down to markets like certainty. And this is why I'm pretty bullish on crypto for the next 2 months, because we have certainty that Trump's going to get in office in January, you know, and nothing can kind of go wrong bar any black swan events until January.
Yeah.
So I think, you know, being long into year end, into early January when he gets into office is probably a decent trade.
That guy you said is in charge of the SEC. What was his name again?
Gary Gensler.
Gary Gensler. Was he the one that was in charge of the whole XRP case?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So now a more further dive into this rabbit hole of a question. XRP. I know so many people who are pro XRP and so many people who are like, no, I hate XRP. Don't even get involved in it. So on and so forth. Now that Gary's, I suppose, essentially going, if he does, what do you think the future of XRP looks like? Okay. And is it something, you know, I don't want to use this podcast as financial advice. Don't watch this podcast while you're watching crack and it's going to be a fuck up. But would you say a good time to buy XRP sort of thing?
Okay, so I think you can tell how deep someone is in crypto by how they view XRP. Okay, I don't want to send any shots here, like I love everyone, you know, but if somebody is heavily invested in XRP, or they really believe that XRP is going to $500, they don't know much about crypto. Like, they've probably got surface level knowledge about crypto. Now, I need to caveat that. I think XRP is a great trade, right? But it comes back to everything bar Bitcoin and maybe Ethereum and Solana is just a big game of musical chairs, and it's all driven by narratives and hype, right? So long term, XRP, in my opinion, doesn't have any fundamental value, right? Fundamentally, it's going to zero. But what it does have is a cult. It's got people who genuinely believe XRP is going to be the next, to the moon. It's going to be the next world reserve currency.
Yep.
That's not the case, right? So if cryptocurrencies were valued on fundamental value, then XRP would be zero, in my opinion.
Yes.
Right? Because you've got Ripple, the company, that's worth something. XRP is not, right? And again, people won't like this in the comments, and people will probably send shots, but that's just ultimately the reality. But cryptos aren't valued based on their fundamental value. They're based on, or they're valued based on narratives and hype.
Yeah.
And that's what it comes down to. And that's why it's a, you know, multi-billion-dollar asset.
Do you know what I think? You know, you mentioned it earlier on where the crypto world can seem as like a scammy place is because there's no regulation for it, right? You know, who was saying it? I had a guy on by the name of Ask Micaiah. He was saying that, you know, if he had come on the podcast and he was this big influential person vouching for, let's just say, XRP to the moon, and he's got his whole cult following preaching XRP, all buying XRP, he can essentially rug pull a coin without even owning that coin.
Yeah.
Because he can just drive the price up as much as he wants and sell at the top. That's the only thing I think that we need to regulate within the crypto community. Do you think there's any other way where it's deemed as a scam?
You're seeing it now. Have you heard of Pump Fun?
No.
Okay, Pump Fun is basically a website where anybody can create a coin. And what people are doing is they're creating a coin and live streaming on the website.
Yeah.
And they're doing crazy things. Like one guy said, I'm sitting on the toilet until this coin gets to $1 million market cap or something. One guy locked himself in a dog cage.
I think I've seen this on TikTok as well.
Yeah, probably. One guy locked himself in a dog cage and he said, I'm not getting out until it hits 500k market cap. So I think streaming has now been shut down on Pump Fun this morning or yesterday, something like that. But yeah, there does need to be regulation. Even the UK came out this morning and said they're going to regulate cryptocurrencies in 2026 or something like that. Regulation is good for the space long term, because to get to where we want to go, we need institutional money that needs regulation to come in, right? And seeing things like what we're seeing on Pump Fun at the minute is not what we want. You know, it's not the future of finance. It is a big casino, you know?
Essentially, it's just a big gamble.
Yeah.
But then here's the caveat to that, because, you know, for the whole time I'd known about crypto, a lot of people were vouching for it because of the fact that it's decentralized and, you know, governments and stuff can't touch it. They're not in control of it. Now, if regulations come into play with it, that just counters everything that I just said. Yeah,
it depends what kind of regulation comes in. I think that's the main thing. So like regulating new coins, for example, that's probably needed, you know, but it can still be decentralized in the fact that it might be hard for you to open a bank account in the UK. You can still create a wallet and somebody can send you money from the other side of the world and it can be with you in less than a minute, right?
Yeah.
So that's kind of like the real value of cryptocurrency, you know, and that's the real value of Bitcoin. We can send $1 trillion worth of value to the other side of the world. We can pay $10 in fees and it'll be there in a minute, right? That's the real value of crypto. If, I don't know, if there was a war in the UK, we had to flee. If we take all our gold or all our watches, all our cash, it's heavy. We could literally have a ledger, or even on our phone, could take millions of dollars across the border and
nothing.
Nothing. No one can stop it, right? So that's the kind of like decentralization aspect. But I think regulation long term will be good, and we'll start to see it more with ETFs. So we've already seen Bitcoin, we've seen Ethereum. There's talk of XRP ETF. There's talk of Doge ETF.
Doge ETFs.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
You know, it's funny because that started as a meme coin and now it's taken serious.
Yeah. So this is one of my big narratives, right? And the ETF providers, they make money from ETFs because they charge fees, right? So if people want to trade Doge, they're gonna try and push it through. And I think this is another narrative that will probably be a good trade for meme coins as a whole, like more established meme coins, things like WIF on Solana, will probably benefit from that Doge narrative. So for example, when Bitcoin got its ETF, Ethereum and Solana started outperforming Bitcoin because people are front running what's probably going to happen next, right? So markets are forward looking.
You know, when I was looking at the charts, right? And I think, I wish I had it up right now. The chart with, Bitcoin's price and Ethereum's price. In previous times, Ethereum has bumped up alongside Bitcoin.
Yep.
When Bitcoin went to, let's just say 65K, Ethereum went to about 5K. I haven't seen Ethereum move so much.
Yeah.
Why? Let's take a quick 30-second break to tell you about today's sponsor, me. Come closer. I'm my own sponsor. You see, I've been working on something big for the past few months and it is finally here. The CEOHUB, a brand new place where we can learn, grow and connect together. And so the way I'm doing that is I'm hosting weekly calls with top leading industry experts and entrepreneurs that you've seen here on the channel before, directly on the CEOHUB, a chance for you to ask anything you like and get the blueprint to level up. The type of entrepreneurs that have been in your shoes and overcome the problems you're facing. Plus, we're not just focusing on business. I don't know if you could tell, but I've been going gym recently a bit, And so one of our big focuses is also health and fitness too, because that's definitely a part that plays into entrepreneurship. I want to make sure that you become the best version of yourself inside and outside of your business. This is the place for you to network, get inspired and surround yourself with high level thinkers. It's the community I wish I had throughout my journey, so I thought, you know what, I'm just going to create it myself, and now I've created it for you. Look, I love helping people, and because I truly want to help you guys and to celebrate the launch, it's currently 50% off for the first 100 people that join. So how exactly do you join the CEOHUB? Just go to school.com/the CEOHUB or scan the QR code on the screen right now and it will take you directly there. So what are you waiting for? Join us now and I look forward to seeing you there.
So if you pull up that same chart of ETH BTC, you'll see it tends to bottom in December. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but I'm pretty sure 5 out of the last 7 Decembers, ETH has had a major bottom. So we are very close, and I even put up a tweet about this the other day, that ETH BTC has either bottomed already or will bottom at some point before Christmas. We are very, very close, in my opinion, to the bottom in ETH BTC. And when ETH BTC starts to run, that opens the floodgates for.
So when you say bottom, what do you mean exactly?
So I mean the relative value of ETH against Bitcoin has been bleeding, right? So if you look at ETH BTC, someone can correct me if I'm wrong, it's about 0.035.
Let's look at it right now.
Yeah.
Which one am I going on exactly?
So this top one's fine.
Yeah.
So 0.035, right?
Yeah.
So if you scroll out on this chart, go on a higher time frame, maybe like a weekly. And scroll down, week. And if you just go back, to the start, and if you look at December, you'll see most of these major bottoms in price occur in December. Yeah. Right.
So that's what year is that? That's 2015 though.
Yeah, 2015. So that's what I'm saying. In the history of it, 5 out of the 7 roughly Decembers have been a bottom in ETH BTC. Okay. If you look at 2020 in particular, because that's probably most relevant to this year, because 2020 was an election year, it was a halving year as well. The ETH BTC bottom was in December, and altcoins really started to run in January. So another chart you can look at is Bitcoin dominance. So the ticker is BTC.D. BTC.D. Yeah, so that's Bitcoin dominance. So that's basically of the total cryptocurrency market, how much is Bitcoin as a percentage of the total
whole
market cap?
Of all cryptos.
Of all cryptos, yeah. So the total market cap at the minute is about 3 trillion. Yeah. So Bitcoin dominance is 65% roughly at the minute.
59.1% right now.
Yeah. So normally when ETH BTC bottoms, Bitcoin dominance tops. Yeah. And that's when altcoins really get their run. And
it was
very close.
Back in 2017, March, it was 96%.
Yeah.
Damn. And then obviously after that, the whole other coins come out and everything.
Exactly. But if you look at January 2021 on Bitcoin dominance.
January 2021.
And then look at what happened after. It just dropped, right?
Yeah. Literally went down,
until May 2021. Yeah. That's the move that I think is coming. I don't think we've got 5 months, but I think we've probably got a good 3 months of Bitcoin dominance dropping, which is when the altcoins really rip
up.
Yeah.
Okay.
Not
So-
RIP down.
So Bitcoin is, you believe, gonna come down in price?
It depends what time frame we're talking about, right? So in the very short term, over the next week or two, I think we probably have some kind of pullback into 88, maybe the early 80Ks, something like that. Then going into January, I'm quite bullish on Bitcoin, but there does need to be a flush. So short term, 1 to 2 weeks, I'd say I'm bearish. Next 1 to 2 months, I'm bullish. And then Bitcoin will probably top in maybe January, February. After Bitcoin tops, altcoins will probably run for 2 to 4 weeks, and then that'll be it. And then everything drops, nobody talks about crypto anymore, and then we probably have another run when global liquidity starts to pick up. So what we were talking about off camera, normally Bitcoin is very correlated with global liquidity, or like M2 money supply, which in simple terms is the amount of money circulating. We haven't seen that start to tick up yet, but Bitcoin has been running. So I think Bitcoin probably tops, everything drops, everyone hates crypto again, it's all a scam. Then M2 starts increasing, there's more money in the system, everyone's got more money, and then it probably goes up again.
I've got one question on my head because you seem very calm and composed in this podcast.
Yeah.
Are you a chill guy?
I'm actually in chill guy at the minute. So yeah.
We were going through the numbers, me and my buddies, like we were just going through it, and there's people who made so much money. So what's the website? Can I see it? Yeah? Say that again? Dex Screener.
When I was looking earlier today, it was like $500 million market cap. Chill guy probably gets listed on Binance.
Yeah.
Probably gets listed on Robinhood. Probably gets listed on most of the major centralized exchanges. Just because of the amount of volume it's done, how viral the meme is. I think I saw Mr. Beast tweet yesterday that it's like the meme of our generation or something.
Bro, the
like
amount of memes I've seen of it on TikTok and all that sort of stuff is unreal. I don't even know if do you know how to use Dex Screener? Yeah. Okay, I don't know. You take over the laptop. I ain't got a clue.
What do you want to look at?
Just like you know where it says, for example, how much people have put in and the money they've got. Top traders.
Yeah. So if you go here, top traders.
$4 to $250,000.
Yeah, I mean, if you look at that, this guy put in 31K. He's sold 2 million, and he's still got unrealized. He's still got 500K in there, which is pretty crazy.
Have you ever seen stuff like that before in a meme?
Yeah. I mean, maybe not to this extent. This is like a very extreme example.
Yeah.
But
do you just think that because this went viral everywhere, even outside of the crypto community?
Yeah, this is like a viral meme, and this guy was super quick to it. And because of the virality of the meme, it kind of opened the floodgates to this. And now you're starting to see, Bybit listings, for example. You're starting to see, loads of major exchanges start to list it. So then you get all of the kind of normies that don't know how to use decentralized exchanges. They think, I've seen this meme on I'm Just Bait, or I've seen this meme on, wherever. Let's buy some of that. That looks cool.
Bro, the numbers on here are insane. There's
550 million.
There's one guy who put in $31,000 and he cashed out $2 million.
Yeah.
With these memes, like, so let me break this down. Can someone just outright copy a meme? So, for example, this is Chill Guy right now.
Yeah.
Can I now go and make Chill Guy again?
Yeah, you can, but what kind of creates the value of the meme per se is the community and the kind of cult behind it, right? It has value because everybody believes it has value. So it's a bit like, this is probably not the greatest example, but there's Great British Pounds. If we create our own Great British Pounds, it's going to be hard to get people to buy into it. Yeah, like we've called it the same, but it doesn't have the same community or belief that it has value, right? Or it's like gold. If we created our own gold, it doesn't have the same value proposition that actual gold has.
Yeah.
So yes, like you see a lot of that. You see copycat memes. What you mostly tend to see is derivatives. So Chill Guy came out, then somebody created Chill Girl. And everybody who missed the Chill Guy trade,
Chill Girl.
Yeah, let me do Chill Girl. Let me do this. And often the derivatives will tend to go to zero.
Yeah.
Normally, and this is kind of like one of my trading philosophies, is you want to find the fastest horse, bet on the fastest horse and stick with it. Because a lot of the times the betas won't outperform. A good example is Solana in 2021, right? Everyone's trying to find the next Solana. Actually, if you just stuck with Solana, that was the L1 trade, the layer one trade of 2021, right? So AVAX didn't do what Solana did, for example.
To my understanding, meme coins used to run on Ethereum and now they run on Solana due to gas fees. Am I right? Or something like that?
Not really. So you can still build on Ethereum. Think of Ethereum and Solana and all of these layer ones basically like an app store that people can build apps on top of.
Yeah.
Now you can create meme coins on top of them as well. So Ethereum was the major layer one, but now you can pay $50 to $100 in gas fees. Solana is a penny or less, right? So I think developers have realized that, and gone from Ethereum to Solana so that they can, get more kind of like retail liquidity.
I'm just looking at Chill Girl as well. Someone put in $1,400 and got out $224,000. This meme coin stuff. What's your opinion on meme coins and all that sort of stuff? Because I think obviously everyone knows about Bitcoin, but the true crypto guys that I speak to all just say, for example, when I've had conversations on Instagram with people about crypto, they'll ask me, "You got any meme coins?"
Yeah.
I'm like, "Nah, don't." So what's your take on meme coins, and is it the way to make, serious amounts of money?
Yeah, so in 2021, I was very much against meme coins. I was very much in my crypto is still going to change the world kind of mindset. What I realized coming into this cycle and what I realized kind of in 2022 was that you just kind of need to submit to the narrative, right? So wherever the liquidity is flowing, you don't need to chase it, but you need to play the game. You need to understand the game that you're playing. So in my opinion, every coin bar Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Solana is pretty much a meme coin, right? It has value because we believe it has value or other people believe it has value. Mm-hmm. But really, they're overvalued if you look at, traditional kind of valuing metrics, right? So they're all kind of meme coins. I think once you accept that truth, it makes the game a lot easier and you understand it's a game of musical chairs. You just don't want to be the last man standing, right? So that's why you want to bet big, bet early. And then when you start seeing warning signs, like everyone's getting in crypto, everyone says Bitcoin's going to $1 million tomorrow, then you can start to get a little bit more defensive. But to answer your question on meme coins, I think it's a high EV casino. So it's a high expected value casino. So you can turn a small amount of money into a large amount of money, but you need to understand that it is exactly that. It's a casino. You can lose all of your money, right? So I think as long as you're taking small bets, and
you're not putting your whole life savings into it,
you're not putting your whole life savings into it. So, for example, you have a portfolio, you put 80% into, I don't know, Solana,
your main
stuff, right? Yeah. Then you put the 20% into meme coins and you say, okay, I'm going to gamble with this. I could turn $100 into $1 million, but I understand the game I'm playing and I'm happy to lose it. If you accept that risk and you accept that truth, great, go ahead, have fun. You'll probably make some money as long as you can spot trends early and things like that. But don't do it with your whole bag, because I think the worst thing would be to be involved in crypto for the next year or two, for example, and not make any money. And crypto's gone up and you've got nothing because you were just in meme coins, right? And you were constantly chasing the new trend. But yeah, I think they're great. I think, people can make a lot of money. I think if you're in crypto, you should participate in meme coins because, all it takes is one, right? I know people that...
Then you're literally making life-changing money.
Bro, I know somebody who turned $169 into $500,000 in WIF.
What's WIF? Another meme coin?
Another meme coin, yeah. It's one of the biggest meme coins on.
In the space of how long?
A few months. So I think he got in November, December time. And sold February, something like that.
How easy is it to cash out of meme coins?
It depends on the liquidity. So WIF is fairly liquid. It's on a lot of big centralized exchanges. So it's fairly easy. But if you're on Dex Screener, you need to look at the liquidity, right? Because some people might have, I don't know, $100,000, but there's only $80,000 in the liquidity. So you're not going to be able to
pull it out.
Yeah, you're not going to be able to pull out that 100K.
Yeah. So meme coins is so interesting, right? Because how can you even get the chance to spot it early? For example, Chill Guy, I'll give you a great example. One of my friends, he spotted it somewhat early. He's not even involved in crypto. He just knew there was a Chill Guy coin.
Yeah.
So he saw it, price was relatively low. Then he saw it again the next day and the price had pretty much tripled or whatever. And he only put £10 in. Once again, he's not a crypto guy, so he only put £10 in. And then he checked within a few days, it was how much? About £100 roughly? Yeah, it was about £100, right?
Yeah.
So he's not a crypto guy, but he 10x right there.
Yeah.
Now, how do you actually, I'm sure you would have experience with this as well, spot it so early to the point where you get it when price is extremely low and you're making stupid multiples on your money that you've put in?
Yeah, so it depends what the meta is at the time within crypto. So the reason why Chill Guy has done so well is because leading up to the launch of Chill Guy, there was a big TikTok meta. So everything that was like viral on TikTok was doing pretty well in crypto. Then we had the Chill Guy coin launch and then it just exploded, right? So I think it depends where liquidity is flowing. So you'll see, I don't know, zoo animals pop off in meme coins, right? So if you see a panda pop off, or we saw Peanut the squirrel, have you heard about that?
No.
Okay, so basically in America, this guy had a pet squirrel, right? And the government, because it's illegal to have a pet squirrel, they took it and they killed it. Right,
okay,
the squirrel.
Yeah.
And then it became a viral thing in America, and some people say it's one of the reasons why Kamala lost the election was because her administration killed Peanut, the squirrel. So they made a coin about it. It went to 2 billion odd market cap. Right?
2 billion market cap.
Pull up the chart on Dex Screener, you'll see. So the ticker is the letter P and then nut.
P nut.
Yeah. So it went to 2 billion. It's pulled back a lot now. I think it's at $1 billion or so.
Peanut the squirrel.
Yeah. So if you zoom out, it literally went to...
Yeah, I could see. You could just see the big, spike right there.
Yeah, there you go. So about if you go on market cap here, where the price? Yeah, M cap. Yeah. So you see it went to is that it? Yeah, 2 billion, right?
Yeah.
Is that the right one? Yeah, that's the right one.
Yeah.
So it went to like $2 billion valuation, right? So then,
sorry, I've just seen someone. Yeah, someone's put in $10,000, $5 million in return.
Yeah. So what happened off the back of that was everybody started chasing these, animal coins.
Yeah.
So it was peanut, then it was, I don't know, a raccoon, then it was this. And it's whatever the flavor of the month is. So if you can go on Deck Screener, see what's trending, and you'll see chill guy, chill girl, this guy, that girl, all the chills. And then you can kind of follow that meta for a bit until you see it dying, right? So that's the way to kind of keep up with meme coins. There's other things you can do as well. So to like spot it early, you might see a TikTok trend that's viral, but the coin hasn't spiked. The market hasn't caught onto it yet. So that could be a form of edge, right? You can see, or you kind of have this thesis that this has as many impressions as Chill Guy does, but this hasn't moved like Chill Guy has. So your thesis is that eventually the market's going to catch on to that and you can get in early. But where most people make the money is kind of like chasing the momentum of what the meta is.
Yeah.
So you see one, you quickly get in and out of all of the derivatives, and then you ride the main one like peanut until whenever it tops, right?
Do you know what? I have to apologize to you because I know I'm going to bombard you with so many questions in this podcast. Hopefully forgiven because I am a podcaster, but you're so well educated in the space that it's only, I need to use this time wisely and just ask you everything, right? There's one thing that comes to my head. Forget the meme coins for a second.
Yep.
There's something I want to talk about because a lot of entrepreneurs, people got involved in this, and a lot of people got killed with it once they realized the whole value of it had gone down. What's it called? NFTs. NFTs, something Gary Vee in particular was vouching on about, screaming it to the whole world, saying NFT is the next big thing and everything like that. No one's spoken about NFT in about a year and a half, 2 years, I want to say. What the hell happened to that?
Okay.
Did you get any NFTs?
Yeah, I did. And I need to caveat, I lost money with NFTs.
Okay.
Right? So I look at markets, I have an edge because I know X, Y, and Z, and that allows me to have an edge in the market. NFTs, I can never find an edge. So I dabbled, I bought a mutant ape, or I bought a few of them and a few other bits, and I didn't make any money. But if you look at the correlation between NFTs and the watch price index, they are very, very correlated. So if you look at the watch price index right now, I think it's hit a new low within the last few weeks, right? And the reason is because NFTs are a way for crypto guys or anyone to digitally flex.
Yep.
Anyone who had a Bored Ape, it was like having a Patek, right? Now, watches aren't doing what they were, the same as NFTs.
Yeah.
When watches start to pick up, when people have money to flex again, then NFTs will start to go up. So I don't think we're at the phase in the cycle where NFTs are going to do well just yet. It's normally kind of like I say normally, it happened once, but it was more of an end of cycle thing when people have made a lot of money. I've got all this money. I'm a crypto bro.
Yeah.
What can I do with it? Oh, let me flex on my online friends. Let me buy a Bored Ape. Let me buy a Punk, for example.
I was just going to say, so that's almost like the trend where it's like, for example, this bull run coming up, there'll be a lot of people who make a load of money, and then the market's going to eventually die out, and then they're thinking, right, cool, how do I flex digitally? Yeah, NFTs. So I'm not saying it would be, but it could be a speculative thing where NFTs are now going to pop off later on in the future at some point in 2025.
Yeah, that's my kind of thesis. But again, like this cycle is a little bit different because meme coins are so prominent, right? So meme coins will drain some of that liquidity that NFTs might have seen, but I still think they'll have their day. I still think there'll be a trade there. One collection that I've got a few NFTs in is Mad Lads, which is one of the biggest on Solana. So again, my kind of thesis is that people will make money in Solana when it goes to $400 or $500. They'll cash out, they'll make money in meme coins. They'll think, okay, what can I spend this on? And they'll look to Solana NFTs.
What's Solana price right now?
250-ish, something like that.
Yeah, not bad. I just recently bought Chainlink.
Okay.
That's not doing too bad for me, to be fair.
Yeah.
I'd say somewhat up on that. Yeah. So you're obviously a trader before crypto. What sort of differences would you say there are within trading and crypto? Because one might say, who doesn't know anything, i.e. myself, that they're very, very identical. You could trade the charts, you could look at the charts, you're buying and selling at the right price. What's the actual differences in your experience?
Really good question. So the main difference is when you trade, you've got experience in FX, right?
Yeah, somewhat,
yeah. So when you trade Euro USD, who's your competition?
The
JP Morgan,
yeah.
Citibank,
the
right? Sophisticated players, yeah. when you trade crypto, bar Bitcoin and Ethereum and the really big stuff, when you trade a mid cap, for example, who's your competition? A guy in his bedroom. Yeah. Markets are a zero-sum game. For you to win, someone else has to lose, right? It's like professional sports. If you play Arsenal Football Club, the best team in the world, you're going to lose.
That's a lie, but yeah.
If you play Tottenham Hotspur, the worst team in the world, it's going to be a lot easier to win, right? It's the same thing, right? EURUSD is Arsenal. Crypto is Tottenham Hotspur, right? If you didn't gather, I'm obviously an Arsenal fan. No. But yeah, that's the main thing. Markets come down to having an edge. The only way to make money over a long enough period of time in any market is to have an edge, right? So you see some people, they have success for 3 months, 6 months. They might get lucky for a year. They have a really good year and then they end up blowing up the year after, right? The only way to make money long term is to have an edge. And it's a lot easier to have an edge in crypto because the market is a lot less efficient. Okay, because the players are a lot less sophisticated. Whereas in EURUSD, when any FX pair, even equities to a certain extent, it's a little bit different, and I'll go into why in a second. But in FX particularly, the market is extremely efficient. News comes out, the market reprices straight away, prices in that news. So it's a lot harder to have an edge. It doesn't mean you can't, but it's a lot harder. Whereas in crypto, because the market is so much less efficient, it's a lot easier to have an edge. Which is why I trade everything. Like I said, I'm a multi-asset trader, but especially when crypto is in these periods like it's in now, when we're in the midst of a bull run, crypto is definitely my focus.
Anyone who's trading right now understands crypto would be stupid not to just put their eggs into crypto right now. Because if it's building liquid. You're building up cash to do whatever else you want with it. Whether you want to do more multiple trades and different assets and all that sort of stuff, you're building up the pile in crypto. Which is why exactly I want to do this podcast and understand it. I want to make some money as well. Do you know what I mean? So for someone who's not into crypto, like myself, where would you advise me to start? As we discussed outside, I do have some money in crypto, not life-changing money, not anything like crazy. But if we're speaking to myself, if we had to imagine that I'm at zero, what would you say for me to do?
So the first thing that you would need to understand is what's your risk appetite. Right. So go into it with the mind frame that, it could go to zero and you could lose everything that you put in, because you hear the stories of guys making millions, but there's also a dark side to it. Like I said off camera, I've got a friend who'd been trading for, 10 years. He mentored me as well. A really good friend of mine, he lost 8 figures in 2 trades, right?
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's the reality of it. You can go to zero, and I've seen, people go to zero. I've seen people blow up that have experience. So the first thing is understanding your risk appetite. Once you've understood your risk appetite, then you just need some exposure. You just need skin in the game. Buy things like Solana, the big stuff, Sui, for example. Just get some exposure, get some skin in the game. And then really, look, there's not much time left. You need to immerse yourself. You need to go on YouTube, try and understand as much as you can. Get on Twitter, follow some of the big, Twitter accounts. Understand. Get in communities, get in Telegram groups, get in Discords, speak to people. Understand it's a big game of musical chairs. So don't take everything you see on face value. Think, okay, why is somebody telling me this? If they're telling me to buy this coin,
are they trying to rug pull it?
Yeah, are they trying to rug pull it? Or, are they a KOL? So in crypto, there's this term KOL, which is basically just an influencer, right? And what happens is, say we've got a project, we will buy up a lot of the supply and then we'll give it to KOLs, we'll give it to influencers to talk about it. So then retail guys will come in and buy it and it pushes the value up, right? So you need to understand, why are people telling me to buy this? And there's not like one place on the internet that I can point people in to say, this is the best place to learn about crypto. Like, go here and you'll learn everything you need to. What I'll say is first, just get skin in the game, join as many Telegram groups as you can, speak to as many people, try and, immerse yourself in the space as any free time you get, try and learn something new about crypto every single day. And then you'll start to get more comfortable. As you get more comfortable, your risk appetite will increase. And then you can maybe start trading it. You can look at trading meme coins. But the very first step would be understanding risk appetite and then building some kind of exposure or portfolio. And you can go on CoinMarketCap and pick, 3 of the top 10 coins or 3 of the top 20 coins and just get some skin in the game. And then you'll just kind of learn from there.
The thing I find with crypto, and you can kind of advise me and tell me how it has been in your experience, but it has the potential to mindfuck you. And the reason why I say that is because you kind of lose perception of money, in my opinion. One day you can open your account and you're $2,000. And as we've seen with, like, for example, Chill Guy, you can open it again and it's at $5 million. And then you can lose that $5 million. So your value of money and your perception of money constantly changes. How do you actually stay resilient to that? And how do you stay unaffected by the fact that you might wake up tomorrow down $5 million?
This is a really good question. And something that I spend a lot of time thinking about, because there is an element when you're trading, you need to detach from the money, right? So it is like a game. You kind of need to see it as Monopoly money or GTA money to a certain extent, right? Because you need to be detached from it, and that allows you to trade with a clear head. Otherwise, you'll cut your winners too short. You might cut your losses too early, and it could have been a winner. You're going to intervene with your edge, right? So you need to completely detach from the money and understand it's a game and you're executing on an edge, right? You shouldn't really be trading your P&L. The caveat to that is, if you come into crypto and you say, okay, when I make £1 million, I'm going to get out. When you hit that £1 million, you need to get out. Okay, and it could go on to do a 5x.
But that's the mindfuck.
That's the game. But what would hurt more, that million going back to zero, or the fact it could have gone to 5 million, but you've only got $1 million now.
But you cashed out $1 million.
Yeah, but you cashed out $1 million. I personally think it would hurt so much more round tripping it and being at zero, thinking, "Fuck, I had £1 million."
Yeah. No, 100%. But the thing is, that's when the human greed comes into play.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. They need to plan before, right? So I say to everyone, write down a number, put it on your fridge, put it on your forehead, put it on your girlfriend's forehead, right? When you hit that number, cash out, and don't look at crypto for 6 to 12 months. Go on holiday, right? Just go to a retreat in Thailand. Whatever you need to do, just don't look at it once you hit that number, because otherwise you'll think, oh, what if? You'll try and get back in and you end up round tripping. But most people in crypto, unfortunately, lose most of their money. So if you come into crypto and understand, okay, I'm probably not the smartest here. This is a game of musical chairs. I'm here to make this number and get out. If you hit that number, get out, right? The caveat to that is, if you're not at that number, then you need to follow your plan. So yesterday I was doing a talk with one of my friends, Sam, who's a great trader, and he was talking about knowing self, and I can't remember the other term. So knowing self and basically facts. So one is emotions that you feel. Yeah. So say you're in a trade, it's up 100%. You convince yourself, oh, let me take profit just in case it reverses, right? But the facts are, we're in this stage of the cycle where historically the probabilities point to this trade moving further in profit. They're the facts, right? So being able to look at your emotions, which is telling you to close the trade because it might reverse, and then looking at the facts and being able to make a decision objectively, that's where the money is, and that's where you're going to make money long term in crypto. And crypto is markets, right? It's no different to FX in terms of, the kind of like fundamentals of trading it. So I think understanding that is fundamental to being successful. But everyone needs to have a number that if they hit it, they're out.
They're out, yeah. I think they've got to have that number. In the digital money space, what excites you the most in the future?
Probably like the long-term adoption of Bitcoin. Like I say, look, I used to be super in the rabbit hole that crypto is going to change the world. And now I've just kind of accepted the fact that it's mainly full of scams by Bitcoin. So really just seeing how far Bitcoin can go, and seeing what role it plays in society. If it does become, an asset like gold, where it is on, multiple companies' balance sheets, or, countries start adopting it for their treasury, for example. That's probably what excites me the most. But look, I'm a trader. I'm here to make money. I don't actually care what happens. But I like that though. The
fact that you just say it straight up, look, I'm here to make money. Yeah. We all are at the end of the day, which is why a lot of people tune into this podcast. Yeah. We're all here to make money. Yeah. And wherever the money goes, we will follow naturally, which is why this podcast exists, literally.
Absolutely. I think the main thing that anyone listening to this believes in crypto somewhat, right? So I think we all agree that over the next 10 years, Bitcoin is going to much higher numbers than it is now. So I think we need to look at that and say, okay, how do I want to play this? Do I want to buy Bitcoin every day? There was a story recently of a guy, for the last 7 years, he put $30 in Bitcoin every single day. Total invested was like $86,000. He's now $1 million, right? So that's one way to play it, is I don't know how to trade. I accept that, I don't have an edge in markets, but I believe in this trend. And the way I'm going to capitalize is just by buying every single day.
Yeah, you're investing into the asset as opposed to trading.
Exactly. It's like, if we did that for Amazon, so we were both born in 1997, right?
Yep.
If from the day we were born, we put, I don't know, £10 a day in Amazon, for example, how much money would that be now?
A lot.
It would be a lot of money, right? So Bitcoin is an Amazon-like asset in the sense that over the next God knows how many years, it's probably going to go up a lot, right? So that could be one strategy with dollar cost average. Or we can do what we said earlier, when things get really heated, we sell, and when nobody likes Bitcoin, then we buy, so it's understanding the trend and then deciding how to capitalize on it.
So there's a story that goes, and I'm sure you would know about this, but if the audience don't know this, I want to make it clear as well. On May 2010, I'm dyslexic. May 22nd, 2010, a guy paid 10,000 Bitcoin for 2 Papa John's pizzas.
Yeah.
And just to put that in today's summary, 10,000 Bitcoin, the price being right now $93,000, That's $930 million on 2 Papa John's pizzas. $930 million on 2 Papa John's pizzas. But then once again, who could have speculated that could have been the case? Because we could be in 2024 right now looking at a coin such as, what's cheap? Any cheap coin. I'm not going to say one. You know, and we say, nah, we're not going to do it. Yeah, I'll buy a pizza with that. And then 10, 20 years time, that could be the thing that made us $930 million.
Yeah.
So you can't even speculate any sort of thing like that. Interesting. Where's my list of questions going here?
No worries.
So what's your figure to get out of the game?
I don't want to disclose that.
Okay. Yeah. We don't have to disclose the exact figure. I just want to understand it, because I just want to understand naturally someone of your caliber. What is it? Mid 8 figures, high 9s? You don't want to disclose.
It's not high 9s. Let's put it that way.
Okay,
it's not high 9s.
So we're in the 9s. We're in the 9s.
We're not in the 9s. No.
Fairs.
Oh yeah, I'll be out before. Well before.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's the reason? You don't have to obviously tell me to full detail, but what's the reason why you don't disclose? Is it because you can get some hackers in crypto and all that?
Yeah,
sort of stuff,
I mean, like, you know, I show my face already, which a lot of people in crypto don't do.
Yeah.
And yeah, just.
I'm just asking from the security perspective. Like, is it possible for people to get their cryptos hacked?
Yeah, of course. I mean, there's like very sophisticated phishing scams. Not that I would fall for it, but you know, you hear horror stories all the time about, you know, things happening in.
There was one
space,
recently, isn't it, where they took $130,000 of Bitcoin?
I mean, there was one recently where they took like $230 million worth of Bitcoin.
That might be the one I'm talking about. They went to the club.
Yeah, they went to the club and did all this craziness. Yeah, so that was like a very elaborate phishing scam.
Yeah,
where they basically called from Google support saying your things have been compromised. Then they called from something else, and then finally it was, I think, Gemini.
Yeah, they
said, "Oh, your assets are being compromised. You need to give us your passwords." Then they got him to team share.
Yeah,
he shared his screen, pulled up his private key.
Yeah,
and then they got in and. The idiots recorded it as well.
They recorded it, and correct me if I'm wrong, but they spent money on the wallet, and therefore they were able to track exactly where they are, and that's how they got found.
Yeah, they made a few mistakes when they were trying to cash out the money.
Yeah.
The authorities were quick to it.
That's just silly.
But they also went to clubs handing out Birkins, and like they were buying Mansouri Urises, buying property. Like these 20-year-old guys just spending hundreds of thousands in the club. Like, it's insane.
How do you diversify your money?
Good question. So I've recently been doing a lot of property stuff in Dubai.
Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Okay, interesting.
Yeah. So I've done a few projects there. One in JVC, we bought it, flipped it. One in Marina, we bought it, flipped it. And I'm actually starting a real estate agency in Dubai.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So
that's completely away from what you're doing right now.
Yeah. Good question. So I actually used to be an estate agent when I first left school. And while I was an estate agent in the UK, I learned to trade alongside it. And I met a good friend of mine when I was working in agency. We worked together. He went over to Dubai, and he's a very successful real estate agent over there. And I was like, look, I want to do this real estate thing. I'm going to find someone, you know, do you want to kind of be part of it? Like, let's do it together. Then we've got another guy involved as well. So yeah, we just secured the office. We're going to be launching in probably January, February. We're going all out. We're throwing big money at it. You know, if anyone's watching this and they want to be a real estate agent in Dubai, let me know.
Yeah.
Because yeah, we're not there to play. We've got a big war chest and we want to take over the game.
So what's your you found a gap in the market sort of thing, or is it just you're going there because you know the money's there?
Yeah, I think so. From what I've seen in Dubai and from speaking to people who are in the game in Dubai, the real estate agency model is very much like throw shit at a wall and see if it sticks. So they'll recruit 10 people, won't really give them training. If one of them does all right, they'll keep them. 9, go away. They don't really give them, good training, right? Whereas that's what we want to do. We want to have a more kind of like concentrated team and spend more time with them and really build the best agents in Dubai and, and move away from that kind of like throw shit at a wall analogy and really spend time with people and create the best agencies. And that's the kind of edge that we've got there, right? So similar to trading edge, I think that's how we'll gain an edge in the real estate market. It helps that my friend who's out there is already a very successful real estate agent. So yeah, building off the back of that. And like I say, we've got a big war chest. I'll show you pictures of what the office will look like as well. It's going to be...
Where is it, in Business Bay, I'm assuming? Or
it's in iRise Tower. So it's kind of relatively close to the Palm.
Okay, interesting.
Relatively close to the Palm and Marina kind of.
When did you say you're going to be there?
So I'm actually going to be in Dubai next week, but we're launching in January, February sort of time.
Okay, I'm doing a mastermind in Dubai next week.
Perfect.
I've got are you going to F1 at all?
No, I'm not going to F1.
Okay, that's cool because I've got a yacht on the 8th of December, so jump on board, bro.
Perfect.
Jump on board.
Let's
networking opportunities and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah, let's do it.
But the reason why I ask about diversifying your money is because, as I said, and you said it as well, the market's constantly up and down, right?
Yeah.
So is it just, getting into property and opening a real estate company in Dubai, is it a way for you to just park money off, or is it a way for you to increase money, create business off the back of it? You understand that crypto is where you're going to make your liquid money, but now with that money, you're going to go and utilize it on building businesses. Like, what's your whole game plan here?
It's almost a bit of everything that you said. So to trade with a clear head, you can't just rely on trading, right? So for example, if you didn't have a lot of capital behind you and you want to be a full-time trader and you need this trade to hit so you can pay your rent today, it's not going to work, right? And you're not going to be able to trade well with a clear head and remove emotions like we spoke about earlier. So every trader has seasons. They have periods of drawdown. Even me, every profitable trader, no one wins every week, wins every month, wins every quarter, right? You're going to have periods of drawdown. Yeah. And in those periods of drawdown, you want to be protected and know that, I'm fine if I don't make any money this quarter or even the next 6 months if my system has a period of drawdown, which every system does, right? Even equities, we saw it in 2022, right? The S&P goes up 12% a year on average, but in 2022, it went down 20%, right? And that's just how markets work. It kind of ebbs and flows. You have periods where the markets are trending, you have periods where the markets are ranging, and no system works perfectly in every single market environment. So being able to diversify and kind of doing a bit of everything that you said just then, I think helps you to trade with a clear mind. Also, trading is a great way to accumulate wealth, but long term, you want to diversify. And if you look at most wealthy people, they're diversified in property, or, they're VCs, they've got their fingers in multiple different businesses. So I think being diversified is the key to keeping your wealth. But initially to get it, you need to find one thing, double down on that one thing, be super aggressive. But then once you've got it, then you can kind of go on defense a little bit and diversify.
Yeah. Coming to general entrepreneurship, right?
Yep.
What would you say is an underrated skill that you have that a lot of people should develop?
I think ultimately, when you strip everything back, the amount of money you can make in trading, in entrepreneurship, anything comes down to how much stress you can take on and how well you can manage the stress. That is ultimately the one fundamental truth and the one fundamental skill that will dictate how much money you can make in life. That's it.
So would you say your stress tolerance is very high?
Yeah, I mean, I was bored at 22, so I was...
Straight turkey after that. I'll find you responsible for that one.
Yeah. But no, I would say I'm able to deal with stress pretty well. Look, I feel stressed like everyone. Everyone has their days, right? There's days where, I can't think clearly. I'm super stressed and, I get annoyed, I get frustrated. It's, part of being human, right? But I think generally speaking, I'm able to feel stress, but channel it in a way where I can think objectively and still make pretty good decisions. And I think ultimately that comes from trading, right? I've been trading for 10 years. So that has taught me a lot about myself and, how to manage my emotions. And I think that's helped a lot with, other ventures and different avenues of life, relationships and things like that. I don't want to say like I'm very self-aware, but I would like to think, I'm relatively self-aware compared to most people. So I think that's ultimately like the one skill. And if we're talking about ways to make money, there's so many ways. I know guys who have made millions in property, e-commerce, trading. I think where people go wrong is they try and jump ship every 2 seconds. They'll do trading, it doesn't work for 2 weeks. Okay, I'm going to do property because this guy's doing property. Okay, no, now this guy's doing drop shipping. Oh, OnlyFans agency, everyone's doing that. Let me go there. Do you know what I mean?
Yep.
Whereas actually, if you just stuck on one path, you committed to being the best that you could be at that one thing,
then you can go for it.
Yeah, you can go for it. And there's a very low probability that you won't be successful if you commit to something for the next 3 to 4 years.
Yeah. You're, as we said, Gio, you're the same age as me, 27 years old. And the amount of extensive knowledge that you have, without even saying a figure, I know you've got some financial in your accounts and all that sort of stuff, right? Getting that wealth comes with a lot of sacrifice.
Yeah.
What would you say is the biggest sacrifice you've had to make throughout your life to make sure that you're in the positions you are in today?
Yeah, that's a really good question. And I think about this a lot because, if I'm honest, I don't really have work-life balance. And like, I really struggle to switch off. So like, I'm always tapped in. Like, I'm always thinking, okay, what's the next move? What's this? Always checking the price of, if I'm in a trade, I'm, constantly managing the position, right? So I'm probably not the best person to ask, but everyone I know who's achieved something great has been like me. Like, they're obsessed. They can't switch off. I really, really struggle. And don't get me wrong, there will be certain people that they can switch off and there's work-life balance. And I envy those people because I just can't do it. Yeah, and it's not good because, you know, at certain times I won't be present. So I'll be with, you know, my fiance, for example, I'll be with my parents, and I really find it hard to switch off and not allow my brain to run at 100 miles an hour because it's just constantly ticking. Like even on the weekend, I'll be trying to watch Netflix, trying to watch a film.
You can't.
I'm just there. I almost get depressed. Like I really find it hard. So yeah, I don't know. I'm probably not the best person to ask that question because it's something that I'm trying to master myself. So
No, do you know what? I fully agree with you, bro. I think a lot of people are naturally like that. I think whereas, you know, we've been working throughout, I would want to say half our lives.
Yeah.
And, you know, we developed this, we never take into consideration work-life balance. You know, there's one point in our life we didn't have girlfriends. There's one point in our lives we didn't have money. We're doing everything we can to make sure we get that money, grafting it out 24/7. So now when we get that bit of wealth, those habits are still there.
Yeah.
And how do you switch off the back of that, man?
Yeah.
So I think it's a struggle that a lot of entrepreneurs naturally face. So yeah, I don't know where I was going with it, to be fair.
But I think people should try and find work-life balance because, I don't know, fitness, for example, like I know that there are huge benefits to, you know, working out every day and, you know, focusing on your fitness for business as well. But sometimes I just get so tied up, and that's something that, you know, personally I want to work on to improve on. And I've had periods, you know, 2020, I was super focused, super disciplined. You know, I'd wake up at a certain time, you know, work out at a certain time, read, do everything I wanted to do. And that was a period in my life that really kind of propelled me. And I think if you're in those early stages, you know, being able to tick all the boxes is good. But yeah, at the minute,
it was funny.
I've got balance.
Yeah, but you said it earlier on, but just before we started the podcast, you said that, you know, in the bull runs, you tend to gain a bit of weight or something like that.
Yeah.
But I don't blame you, bro. If constantly on the markets in the right time, you could lose the weight later on.
Yeah, but it's kind of like, you know, what's the opportunity cost of me not working out or not focusing on my fitness? I'll probably make better decisions if I focused on my sleep. If I did go to the gym, if I did eat better during these bull runs, I'd have a clearer mind. I'd be able to make better decisions. And ultimately in trading and, you know, in entrepreneurship, everything we do, even what you do, like everything is a sum of the decisions that you make, right? Like we're here now because of the decisions that you've made. I'm where I am because of the decisions I've made. So if every day you're showing up able to, you know, approach things with a clearer mind, you're going to make better decisions. Ultimately that will reflect like with the end product, right? And I'm not there yet, you know, I'm not perfect by any means, but this is kind of what I'm aspiring to is, you know, being very well-rounded.
You're only 27 years old, same age as me. You're going to be very, very successful in the future. You're already successful now, to be fair, and you're going to be even more successful in the future. You know who you remind me a lot of?
Who?
Funnily enough, another Italian guy from South London.
Okay.
Started a brand called Fireway Pizza. Mario.
Yeah.
And I see Mario in you, or I see you in Mario, and I'm just thinking, yeah, this is crazy. I don't know if it's an Italian gene or what, but I need that as well.
I'd take that as a big compliment. I saw a podcast of Mario once a few years ago, and I was like, oh, this is cool.
What, my one or just another one? Or
Fireway Mario. Yeah. Because I think he started with one in like Sutton.
Yeah, Mitcham.
Mitcham, and it's just grown from there. So
he's got like 170 stores, and his story is very inspiring to say the least. Yeah. What sort of things do you want to do in the future?
Good question. I think trading will always be part of my life. You know, it's what I've dedicated so many years to kind of like understanding. My main focus right now, and you know, I don't like planning too far in future because so many things can change, right? I'm just kind of focusing on the next step at the minute. For me, the next step is this real estate agency in Dubai, you know, getting that to where we want it to get to. I definitely think we can make big moves there. Like I say, we've got a big war chest. We're really going for it. You know, it's not like 1 foot in, 1 foot out. We're like fully in. The boats have been burnt.
Yeah.
So that's my next focus, you know, making sure that gets to where it needs to go. And then just, you know, becoming a better man, becoming a better trader, and becoming more well-rounded, you know?
As an entrepreneur.
Yeah.
No, thanks, Joe. Well, I want to appreciate you for your time, bro. If people want to find you, where can they do so?
Yeah, so Instagram and Twitter is Gio Paris 23. YouTube, I think, is Gio Paris 23 as well. Probably try and get more active there. But yeah, Twitter and Instagram is probably where I'm most active.
I have to thank you a lot, bro, because the knowledge you've dropped has been insane. And if you've made it this far into the episode, make sure you like, comment, subscribe. And I've got a gift for you. In fact, if you comment collagen in the comments right now, I'm going to pick 10 of you and send you out a pack of Sunna supplements. So make sure you do that. Thank you to Sunna Supplements for sponsoring the video. Gio, thank you for coming and sharing your incredible knowledge. I'm about to get on Kraken, Binance right now. What's the other one? Dex Screen. I'm about to go all in. I'm about to make some money. Well, until then, catch you on the next episode of Ceocast. Peace.
Appreciate it, man.
Wicked. Solid episode. Sick episode.
Yeah?
Yeah, sick.
How long were we going? Because that felt like 20 minutes.
That was a full hour.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Decent.
No, that did feel like 20 minutes.
Yeah.
It was just such... There was a point in the podcast where I needed to take a breath just to just breathe and all that sort of stuff.